Hello, happy Friday. It's Ann McMillan and welcome back into my kitchen for some fun. I don't know how many of you realize this, but this weekend would have been the Kentucky Derby weekend if things were normal. So I thought it'd be fun to just put on a hat and have a little derby fun. So tonight we're going to show you several things while we're doing it. And then I do have my guest, my daughter, with, and we'll probably give her the Kentucky Derby hat to wear in a little bit when it comes to making the cocktails for the traditional Kentucky Derby weekend. But I want to welcome you back. It's just really gotten to be kind of fun to do this little cooking time and tips with you. And as a long-term Pampered Chef consultant, I really appreciate your support. It's meant a lot to me. So tonight we're going to highlight the Deluxe cooking blender because you know what? It is cold and windy out today. So I'm going to show you how to make tomato basil soup right here in the cooking blender. And you guys, I won't keep you on long enough to see the whole process, but this thing cleans itself too, okay? There's a heated wash cycle, so I wanted you to know about that. And while we get it going, I will tell you that it gets a little bit loud. So for the sound of it, we'll just kind of walk away and we're gonna move the camera because we're also going to show you how to make an ooey gooey grilled cheese in the bubble waffle pan and a couple derby drinks for the derby weekend. So let's get started with the soup. That's the most important. So on this fun cooking blender, you guys, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 settings at the top. So this is not just to make a frozen drink, even though that sounds really good, okay? We're actually going to cook fresh tomato basil soup in it. You can grind in it, which means you can make your own peanut butter. You can make your own jam. You can make your own puree. You can make your own hummus. We've had a lot of fun, but it does come with a cooking guide. So trust me, I'm not, this is a really great dip, roasted walnut dip. I'm not doing this from heart. I'm using the soup setting and there's all of these soups. So when it gets, when the farmers markets start opening up again or your garden starts giving you some produce, you could do some of these great soups because there's a beet soup, cauliflower soup, mushroom bisque, potato cheddar, sweet potato, and tomato basil just in here. But then there's a lot of recipes on my website too. So for this recipe though, for tomato basil soup, we're going to do the following. I have sitting down here the silicone prep bowls. I love these because you can squeeze them when you pour. They also have lids. So the first thing is we're putting in 1/4 cup of water right into the blender. And then we are going to follow that up with a teaspoon of salt from our stackable measuring spoons. So that goes on top. And then we need to add 3 Roma tomatoes. So I just cored out the Roma. I'm going to literally cut them in half with a great knife and I'm going to drop them right in the blender. So there is 3 Roma tomatoes. And then grab my towel here. After the tomatoes, we are going to do half of an onion. So I've cleaned the onion and I'm going to just half it and then I'm going to cut it in half again. Put those onion pieces right in there. And then the recipe says that we want 2 garlic cloves. So you guys can see these still have the skin on, but we want the whole clove. So I'm actually going to use this little silicone tube that's called a garlic peeler. I'm going to just put a clove in the tube. And then I think you can see down here, I'm just rolling it. You can kind of hear it crunch. I'm rolling it because what is happening is all the skin is falling off and now I have 1 whole clean clove to put inside the blender. So I need to do 1 more. Second clove. And then you take 28 ounces of canned tomatoes, and I have those in here, juice and all, kind of pouring them fast. And then you're going to literally take the lid. This talks to you, so you hear the noise. You're going to go to the soup setting. So you turn the dial It lights up when it gets to the soup setting, and you are going to hit start. And you guys should be able to see some action happening in there. I'll get out of the road, and you can also hear it. So it is going to go on and off like that as it is cooking and making this fresh tomato basil soup. And then when it gets to a certain stage, this is going to flash and it's going to say add. And that's when you're going to actually take the fresh basil leaves I have, and just this little lid on the top, you can open it up, and I will drop the basil leaves right in there, and then I will hit the pulse button just a few times, and it will add the fresh basil right to the tomato soup that's cooking, and then you will be able to serve it shortly, okay? So it's gonna kick on and off for a little bit. So while that's doing that, we're gonna switch over, and I think we'll make our first derby drink. So I want to welcome Stephanie in tonight and let her have some fun with you guys, and I'll move this back out of the road a little bit. And if it gets too loud, we'll just simply shut that off.
Hi friends, I'm back. Gotta get my derby hat on, and let me grab my supplies here quick. But we are going to be making the classic mint julep tonight. Okay, and the ingredients that we need are bourbon, simple syrup, fresh mint, and crushed ice. So we're going to start off by putting 4 or 5 mint leaves in the bottom of a highball glass. You can kind of tear them a little bit to start. And then I'm going to take my simple syrup and do about 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces of this. Just pour that right in there. I'll use my muddler, once again from the Pampered Chef cocktail line, and just kind of muddle in the bottom. This helps to kind of get the flavor of the mint to release. Also, if you had a little bit more time, you could make a mint simple syrup. And now the next step is we're going to take our crushed ice. Got a little blocked in here. Pour that over the top. The crushed ice is really probably the most important part of the mint julep. And then I'm going to put just a little splash of cold water on there before I add my bourbon. And you need 2 ounces of bourbon. Pour that right on top. And I know I've shown off this before, but if you look closely, I just love because it has the measuring cup lines marked right in here, which makes it really handy for making precise cocktails. Then I'm just going to give this a stir. And there you have it. You have your mint julep. So cheers, friends, and I'll be back in a little bit with another cocktail.
Okay, thanks, Stephanie. We trade hats, and I put a hat back on for Derby weekend. You guys, one thing I forgot to tell you, the reason this gets quiet once in a while as it's cooking this soup is because it's cooking. So right now, if you look on the screen, it's telling us that the temperature has gotten to 108 degrees. So it is doing the process while it is making this fresh tomato basil soup. And I just wanted to take a second, as Stephanie was talking about the cocktail making set from Pampered Chef. You guys, it is fantastic. It's all stainless steel. You will have it forever. It's one of those pieces that you won't have to buy again, so that makes it really cool too. But one piece that we haven't talked about are these. And these are our insulated tumblers that have lids. And you can buy these singly. So whether you're a wine drinker and you don't want to stem and you want to stay cool because you're drinking a cool wine, or if you want to just make a fun cocktail in here, this is really fun. And the second special drink that we're going to make for you tonight is actually served in a cup shaped like this at Churchill Downs for the Kentucky Oaks, which is the fillies race that happens today on the Friday before the Kentucky Derby. And we were there a few years ago, so I loved this drink, and I'll show you the cup, and we'll talk about it in just a minute. But I just wanted to share the insulated tumbler is really a go-to product too. Now, some of you know that last week when we went live, I was sharing it's my 29th anniversary in this business, and you guys have been so great during the week, outpouring of congratulations and cards and letters, orders, all kinds of things. But you guys, it's because of you that I have loved this business that long. Pampered Chef's an incredible company to work for, but it's the customers that truly make it a ton of fun. And I did announce last Friday night, to honor my 29th year, that I'm doing a Feeding America fundraiser. So whether you're watching on a party right now that you're involved with for me, or whether you are just a great Facebook friend and watching, if you want to support the fundraiser, you can just put a note in the comments and I can send you the fundraising link. But if you're watching in a party right now, just, you know what, have fun in that party and support that party. So I don't want to cause that to be any confusion for anybody. But just so you know, the Feeding America fundraiser, they do channel the donation back to the zip code of the party. So we are supporting our local food bank, and so far in week 1, we have contributed over 2,500 meals. That's what it correlates, and it comes through the Northeast Iowa Food Bank, so I'm very proud of you guys. And then they supply things like our own food pantry, so that's really cool. And then I wanted to tell you about the other recipe that we are making, and then we're going to make a little journey across my kitchen. And I try not to do this and move my camera very often because I don't want people to get kind of motion sick or crazy with us. But we are going to use, you know, if you have tomato soup, lots of people love grilled cheese with it. So tonight we are going to show you Pampered Chef's Bubble Waffle Maker, because we're going to use that to make an Ooey Gooey grilled cheese. So come with me and walk across my kitchen. As we go across, I want to show you one that we've already made. That is a cheddar and chive bubble waffle. So yes, a savory waffle that's going to be the crust. And you guys, you could make this for the crust of a BLT. It'd be delicious for that. In fact, it's on my website showing you a cheddar and chive bubble waffle BLT. So that's where you can get all the recipes. It's right on my website. So what I did, this is Pampered Chef's Bubble Waffle Pan. And I'm going to turn this on, and it opens up. It's 2 parts. So you want to open it up, and oops, I want to keep it on the burner so it gets hot. And then I use Pampered Chef's oil spritzer, but you could simply, if you don't have an oil spritzer, you could simply use a pastry brush, but you do need to oil both sides of this, okay? And so I'm going to just use the oil spritzer. I'm going to add a little pressure in here, and I'm going to spray my pan so that it will be non-stick. And you guys, we have all kinds of recipes for this bubble waffle maker, because if you've ever been to the East or West Coast, these are really popular as a dish or a bowl to hold ice cream, or to even roll up and make a cone. Because once you've cooked them, if you let them sit, they firm up and get crispy. So that's a really cool situation about the recipe. I'm going to go back to the way I have it here, so I'm making less of a mess. You want to oil it and then preheat it for 2 or 3 minutes before you cook it on medium-high. And then the mixture for this particular recipe, it was flour, baking powder, cornstarch, salt, pepper, an egg, a little bit of sugar, milk, water, and then unsalted butter that you melted. So you actually mixed all that together with the whisk in this bowl like I did. And then you add in chopped chives and shredded cheddar cheese. And when we go back across the room in a little bit, I'll give you a little hint on a couple of those products. But I have found it's really easy to use the mix out of one of our Easy Read measuring cups, which we've talked about for a couple weeks now. We mentioned this. So you open up the bubble waffle maker, and you literally just start at the middle and work your way to the outside till you know you have filling in all the holes. And then just shut the lid, and you will let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes on one side. Then you will literally pick up the whole unit, turn it over, let it cook 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, and then it will come right off, and then you will have this as a crust for the bubble waffle maker. Okay, so just a fun product I thought you guys would enjoy seeing tonight that's a little bit different. So let's work our way back to the other side of the kitchen.
I have to turn the camera around.
And let's see the second drink happen for tonight.
All right, our second drink we are going to be making is called the Oak Lily. This is a little bit more of a fruity drink, so some people might enjoy this more than the first one that I made. Grab my shaker. So this one includes vodka, orange liqueur, simple syrup, fresh lemon juice, and cranberry juice. So let me grab my ingredients here. What do you need? A knife and a cutting board. So first up, we're going to take 1.5 ounces of vodka. Pour that in. 1/2 ounce of orange liqueur. And we like Cointreau at our house, but any orange liqueur will work. And then we need 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. And that goes, and I'm just pouring them all the ingredients into the shaker right here. We need 3 ounces of cranberry juice. Just gonna cut my lemon in half here so that I can use the citrus press on it. Citrus press is right here. I've shown this in the past several weeks, and it's just awesome for getting as much of that juice out as you possibly can. And I need 1/2 ounce of this. Which 1/2 lemon should be about right. Just checking here. Yep, we're right on at the 1/2 ounce there for 1/2 the lemon. Okay, so in here I've got the vodka, the orange liqueur, the simple syrup, the fresh lemon juice, and the cranberry juice. So now I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shake. That will be pretty good. Just gotta pop the top off now. Worried about having a disaster. I got it a little tight. Bang it to one side. Mom recommended to bang it to one side to get it to come off, and that works pretty good. So then we can just strain our drink into our beautiful glass. And my parents got this glass last year when they were touring around the area. So it's actually a Kentucky Oaks glass. So this is the Oak Lily drink in the Kentucky Oaks glass. And then just quickly here at the end, I'm gonna add a little garnish. Just gonna do a thin slice of lemon and a little raspberry. And you can see our soup is coming along nicely, and actually I can see from here the steam is coming out the top. I think the steam will be a little hard for you guys to see, but I can see it, and it is looking and smelling very good. Excited to have that later. So I just did a simple raspberry and lemon garnish, and I think it looks pretty good. So happy Friday, everyone.
Okay, you guys, we're almost done. And the bubble waffle, I just turned it, so it needs about another minute. But then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the 2 bubble waffles and we're gonna put a combination of 3 kinds of cheese, because if you want a really ooey gooey good grilled cheese, you don't want it to be one kind of cheese. So we're using, I just put them on a plate so I'd have it ready. We're using a combination of Havarti, Provolone, and Velveeta. Nothing special. Use whatever kind of cheeses that you want. And then we will actually put the 2 sides, the 2 pieces of the bubble waffle, with the cheese in the middle, back in the pan for about a minute to heat it up and melt the cheese. And then we will enjoy that with tomato soup tonight. But I wanted to just tell you a couple other things really fast. Stephanie, who loves to cook and is home right now, which is my daughter, which is really fun for some of you new, she just found out today that chives are not the same as green onions. Okay, and some people do substitute green onions for chives, and you could certainly do that when you're in a pinch. But if you can buy fresh chives like this, it's a really nice product to use when a recipe calls for chives. And quite often things like potato soup, this savory waffle calls for chives. There's some dips that call for chives. So you want to use chives just with a good sharp knife and cut them into real small pieces, okay? Hi, Carolyn. Yes, this both sounds yummy tonight. The drinks, the food, all of it. So it's just really fun. And the Kentucky Oaks on the night before the Kentucky Derby has really gotten to be a big deal also. And it's a much more affordable time to go with still big crowds, but not crazy crowds like the next day actually on the Derby. So, and since it's the night the girls run, the fillies race, that is why the Lily Oak drink was started, and it is famous. This recipe is right off of Churchill Downs' website. So we hope you enjoy that too if you want to have a Derby party tonight. If you're social distancing and doing happy hour, heck, tell them about the Oak Lily and tell them you learned something new tonight. So that makes it really fun. And then lastly, I just wanted to share how much we do appreciate all of you guys popping on, and it's kind of gotten to be a habit. But really, I just want to make sure that everybody stays safe and healthy and that your time in the kitchen doesn't stress you out. If you need inspiration, that's what I'm here for. And the temperature on the soup is now at 210 degrees. So we are almost there. We're almost to the point where we can put in the fresh basil, finish it off, and enjoy soup with our grilled cheese. So I'm gonna pop across the kitchen and see if I can grab that bubble waffle and show you really quick, and then we'll sign off for Friday night. So here's the second one. There's the first one. I should have taken it off a minute earlier. I shouldn't have talked so much to you guys, but I'm literally going to take one off, put the cheeses, I think you guys can see on the picture, put the variety of cheese on this. Again, this is called a bubble waffle pan. And yes, of course, you can use it for regular waffles also, but we're using it tonight for a savory version. I just kind of want the cheeses to get mixed here. I don't know. Can you ever have too much cheese? I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, so I'm going to put the other one on, then I'm going to take it back over, press it in the waffle maker again, and shortly we will enjoy our dinner. I hope you have a great dinner too. And Debbie, I'm glad you love the cocktails. That is so fun. It's kind of become one of our favorite parts too. So if you guys have a great cocktail recipe, share it, and then I can share it and go live and talk about it and then thank you for it too. So that will be really fun. So have a great Friday, everybody, and we so appreciate you. See you later.